So today is a very special day, I guess. Not really. I'm just flipping through my sketchbook. I've seen all of these drawings before, but obviously, if you're watching this video, you haven't seen any of these drawings, so they're probably new to you. Anyways, I started this sketchbook in 2020. It took about 6 or 7 months to finish, and that's because I had about 2 or 3 other sketchbooks that I was working on at the same time, so it took a long time. And I finished this in 2020. It feels like 2020 was yesterday. It feels like last year was 2020, but it's 2024. And before we know it, it's almost 2025. It's actually insane how fast the time has flown by. And I feel like drawing is good time well spent for me, in my opinion, because I get to look back at what I have done throughout the year. And whether it be, I've always, when I was younger, I wanted to do something that lasts a little bit, because I feel like life is very interesting in that not everything lasts that long. Food doesn't last. Cars, they break down. Everything breaks down, gets old. And I feel like these sketchbooks can last for 50, 60 years. When I'm old, I'll be able to look back at all these, and if I have kids, I can show them, pass them on down, or whatever. And so it's good to have an archive of things, I think, and that's why I like drawing. But I also like drawing just because it's genuinely one of the most fun things for me, putting ink down, experimenting. And so I used a lot of watercolor in these sketchbooks, a lot of color. Now, the newer sketchbooks I use, I don't draw with color, but I'm getting back into it. The last couple months I've been using markers, watercolors, and I do have some pastels, which I haven't even used. They're like old vintage pastels that I got from Goodwill or something a couple years ago. Should probably use those. And I like the ideas in the sketchbook. This is one of those sketchbooks that I have that I look back and I actually get inspiration from, because the ideas, the combination of things, the stuff that I was doing, it was just different. And so I need to get back into it. I need to really get creative like this and stop worrying about making perfect things, because I remember when I was in this stage of drawing, I just drew. That's all I did. I sat in my room for 10 12 hours just drawing, just putting ink down, just going into another world inside of my sketchbook. And now it feels a little different now. Now I draw, but it doesn't feel as much as another world. Sometimes it does, and that's the kind of feeling that I try to get back into. I have been in the past few drawings. I've kind of been getting into that feeling of being in another world while I'm drawing. And yeah. Anyways, so I do see a pattern in these drawings where there's a lot of like flower petals and some organic looking abstract stuff, a couple aliens. Very interesting. I think it is. I think it's interesting to look back at these. They're not all good. There's definitely a handful of them that are terrible, but also it doesn't really matter that much because I just like the ideas, the concepts that are in here. Cats drinking coffee, flying all over the place in space, and just it's like a liminal sort of, what's that video game called? I don't know how to explain it. What's this? There's a video game from like 2010. I don't know, but what I'm going for, I think the sketchbook, what I went for was a Twilight Zone kind of feel, like an ethereal, time has stopped, the universe is frozen, that kind of feeling. These are the emotions that I wanted to get into these drawings, is that everything is slowed down, nothing makes sense, and I think I did pretty good with some of these. A lot of flowers on on different creatures and stuff. I think I need to do that more. Just add flowers to everything, because you kind of can. If draw animals and put a ring of a flower around them, a sunflower. I don't know. Also, I think the reason these drawings are so unique and kind of different, I guess you could say, is because I was venturing into a lot of brand new music, finding artists, and I haven't really been listening to music as much as I used to. I still do, but I'm not exploring into different music. I mean, I've listened to thousands of artists, probably probably like 100,000 different albums and songs, and so I kind of quit, because I feel like I've listened to every category of music and everything, but there's always new music coming out. There's always good music. I feel like there's always new good music. Okay, you don't be like old people that say that they don't make good music anymore. There is good music. You just have to find it. Maybe not on the radio. There's probably not good new music on the radio, but go on the internet and find new music. So, yeah. I need to find new music, because there's something interesting about drawing while listening to music. Listening to music and drawing at the same time is just a different experience. It's when I get into the flow state and things just seem to happen effortlessly. And so, but also listening to nothing is good. I mean, just drawing, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to make art. And I think I need to get back into that. So this is a Moleskine sketchbook, and I think there's a couple hundred pages, maybe 200-300 pages in it. This is a notebook. Sometimes I use the Moleskine sketchbook, but the notebook has more pages. And I also used a lot of Pigma Microns, I think. I think that's the only pen that I used in the sketchbook, actually. Now I have a lot more pens. I use a lot of different materials. Dip pens, fountain pens, brush pens, and fine liners, technical pens. And so there's a lot of variety now. These drawings all kind of look the same. I mean, they don't. They all have the similar style to them. I noticed with a lot of these drawings that the background is usually filled with black or maybe some stripes in the background. I don't really make backgrounds as much as I used to. So I need to do that. I need to make landscapes, buildings, clouds in the background, and add more. There's more to be done with the page than just focusing on one thing, drawing it, maybe add some other stuff, but I do fear messing it up. That's the main reason I don't do it now, because I make a good drawing and then I don't want to make a background because maybe I'll mess it up, and so I don't. And maybe I should just not care and put the clouds in the background, put the landscapes. But it's scary. I don't want to mess it up. I guess I could just sketch and use pencil. That's really the smart idea to do. Usually I use like a rotating Tiki mechanical pencil, and I think that's the only mechanical pencil I have, actually. I did have some Bic ones and some Pentel mechanical pencils. But I'm not really into pencil. I'm into ink. As you can tell probably from all of these drawings, they're ink. You know, it's amazing how many sketchbooks I can fill now. You know, a few years ago, all I could do was maybe 3 or 4 sketchbooks a year, and now I'm filling 2 or 3 a month. It's kind of insane. And I started drawing seriously in 2017. Really seriously in 2017. I drew a lot before that. I've drawn since I was 4, 5, 6 years old, but I didn't start drawing every single day until a couple years ago. So when I started drawing seriously in 2017, I was drawing very slow. A lot of the drawings were in a pocket-sized sketchbook, and it was in middle school. I started drawing in class, which I probably shouldn't have done. I drew in every single class. Didn't really pay too much attention. I mean, I tried, but also I would rather be drawing, and so I figured it might be the best use of my time to spend all my time drawing if I want to be an artist, right? I mean, sure. I mean, I could learn math and science and all this stuff, but why do it now? I'll do it later, right? Look, I'm not procrastinating. I wasn't procrastinating. I was just looking for the most logical way to become an artist, right? I mean, it's probably not the best way to become an artist. It's kind of risky to be sort of an entrepreneurial type artist instead of going to art school or college or whatever. But I just wanted to draw. I just wanted to do my own thing. Of course, right now in the position that I am, there's nothing stopping me from going back to school or going to art classes or whatever. But I feel like I don't really need to. Or, I mean, I would like to, but at the same time, I'm kind of comfortable with just drawing. I've never really been a fan of following specific rules or ways of doing things. I've always strayed from the path of normality, of conformity, which most artists kind of already do that. That's why artists do what they do, because they want to be different. They want to mess with how things are done, how things have been done for the past centuries. And even when I try to be normal, try to be like other people, it doesn't really turn out that way. But I mean, most people aren't normal. I mean, everyone is unique to some degree, but also we're all similar. It's very interesting because I feel like I'm very normal, but at the same time I'm slightly unique. I'm like micro unique in a specific niche of this kind of artwork. I think at the end of the day, we're all pretty much the same, all human beings. Even the billionaires, the Elon Musks, the Jeff Bezos, we're all very similar. It's the people that spend a lot of time on one specific thing, the kind of people that just forget about everything and just do their own thing. I feel like that's what kind of changes you into it kind of makes you go onto a different pathway. That's kind of what's happened to me. I've kind of, I started out being normal, but from being alone and drawing so much, drawing for like 15 hours a day, it kind of changes your brain into just seeing things differently. Or maybe not. I don't know. But I think this is kind of like a superpower, but it's accessible to everyone, basically. If you're watching this video, it's accessible to you. You just have to really spend a lot of time doing something, learning, and then applying that knowledge to what you want to do. But also, I've met a lot of people, and I'm drawing. Sometimes I draw in different places. I've drawn here and there, and people will come up to me, walk behind me, and look at what I'm doing and say, How do you do that? How do you focus so much? How do you spend so much time doing this? I could never do that. And it's really a matter of sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term gain, because making a drawing, it takes 3-4 hours. You could be playing a video game for 4 hours, which I have. I've spent okay, look, I've spent thousands of hours playing video games. Now, I'll play maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, but if you just take maybe 3 or 4 hours instead of playing video games and putting it into something else, you can become extremely good at it. But that's if you want to. You really don't have to. And I don't think everyone should, because it's too much sometimes. I feel like, for me, I'm used to it. I'm used to just putting all my time into absurd, kind of meaningless things. But to me, this is meaningful. Some would maybe argue that it's meaningless, but I mean, I like it. So, but yeah, if you put a lot of time into something, it's only a matter of time before you get good at something. I've sort of taken that gamer mentality and applied it to my artwork, in that no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes to get good at drawing, no matter how long it takes to get to where I want to go, I ain't quitting. I ain't going to stop. It doesn't matter, okay? You got to have that kind of, do or die. I am going to make drawings until I die. No matter what. A little crazy, it might sound a little extreme, but it works. I mean, it kind of works for me. I've made some pretty good drawings from that kind of mentality. I don't care how long I have to sit in this chair, I'm going to make a good drawing. Now, now when I'm making a drawing, I'll just close the sketchbook and wait a couple days and then go back to it. But I was pretty crazy, when I was like 13, 14, 15, 16, making drawings, I was just, relentless. I mean, I still am, but I was just pumping out drawings. 3, 5, 7 a day, non-stop. But yeah, that's about all I had to say. I just wanted to explain how I got to this point, and over the years of working very diligently and hard inside of these sketchbooks, I have about 20 more of them that I'll be flipping through every single week. And this is the third one, I think. The third one that I flipped through. This isn't the oldest one. I have older ones. I should have gone through these alphabetically, but I'm just going through them as I see fit. So that's all I had to say. Thanks for watching. If you like the drawings, tell me. And goodbye.